Alright, this first example of soloing in the style of the great Johnny Winter, I'm playing over a groove. It's along the lines of his song Rock and Roll Hoochie Koo. It's just sort of a straight rock groove, and it's going between the one chord just between A, D, and C, so it's all based on a tonality. And the riffs are all primarily based on A minor pentatonic, A, C, D, E, G, repeats A, C, D, E, G. Starting in 5th position, I start by bending a D 7th fret of the G string, bending it with the ring finger up a whole step, and while I'm picking it, I'm vibratoing it and dropping the bend. Coming down. So you do that through the first 2 beats. Then right there, that's beat 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now bar 2, you got this repeated pull-off lick. I'm pulling off from the 7th fret to the 5th fret on the D string and landing on the 7th fret of the A string. So that happens to, that shape happens 3 times. And then I end, this falls squarely on beat 3 of bar 2. So you put it together, you got, one more time. And I end this bar. So bar 2 ends with this quick pull off, 8th to 5th fret on the B string, land on 7th fret of the G, and then starting in bar 3. So we're bending 7th fret of the G up a whole step, barring across the top 2 with the index finger. This is a very Johnny Winter-like thing to do, where you pick a note and then you pre-bend it a whole step and vibrato it right away. This is followed on the next beat. So this is a repeated pull-off lick, which is along the lines of, but it's moved up here. So I'm pulling off 8-5 on the high E string, followed by the 5th fret of the B string. You could also go, if you prefer. So at the end of that phrase, I play the 5th fret of the high E string, that A note, and slide quickly up to the A note that's on the 10th fret of the B. This is sort of a B.B. King shift, which allows us to get into more A minor pentatonic riffs, but now up in 8th position. So, and then the second part of the shift brings us to a major pentatonic. So we went, and then at the end of bar 4 here, that's the shift to get into A major pentatonic. So, and this here, this is the BB box right here. And that's what Johnny's using when we get to this point. So, this is the end of bar 4 into bar 5. Bending 12th fret up a whole step, keeping it bent so it's a pre-bend, then you release it, and then I come back by bending the 12th fret of the high E up a step and a half. So one more time. This is into the next bar, bar 6. So this is sort of, what's funny about it is it's like playing a lick in D, but it's over A. So if you think about the progression of the licks, that's all. But then right here. Okay, and then we get down for the last 2 bars, go back to 5th position. So after bending the 7th fret of the G up a whole step and barring across the top 2, I come in on 8th fret of the high E string and bend it right away. Again, this is a very Johnny Winter-like phrase. We have a bent note followed by a vibratoed note. Before we had the opposite. We had an unbent note and then pre-bent and vibratoed. And this is a similar sound. Followed on beats 3 and 4. So this just keeps repeating 8th fret bent a whole step on the B string and then barring across top 2 with your index. And we just end it by coming down like that. So there's a lot of notes. It's mostly 16th notes that are played in this solo, and you can see how Johnny, in his style and in this solo that's played in his style, I'm trying to show how he definitely moves, shifts positions from one part of the neck to the next part of the neck. And typical for most blues guitar players, going back and forth from minor pentatonic to major pentatonic, utilizing techniques that he learned from listening to his blues heroes like B.B. King and T-Bone Walker. But it's played in such a fiery way and with so much drive. It is the sound of blues rock. It's not a typical blues guitar player. It's got the blues influence, but the fast succession of riffs and the way they all spill into each other and then the repeated motifs all over the place, that's what makes up the Johnny Winter style.